Yellow.
I have been polite before, but I'm no longer asking. Do Ashnod.
Right, so I'm not entirely sure why Ashnod's such a popular request. I mean, yeah, she's a major character and all that, but compared to Thanos, her role is pretty muted and... that'll do it. Anywho, Ashnod is the archetypal femme fatale evil henchman, being apprenticed to Mishra and his chief torturer. She's actually introduced defending a town Mishra is besieging, being the one who created the staves the city's defenders were using to hold off Mishra's dragon engines. Just like how Urza was impressed with Thanos' work and immediately took the man as an apprentice, Mishra was instantly impressed with Ashnod's own creation and intrigued by her outlook on artifice and biology, and had her come along as his apprentice. You know, now that I think about it, there was actually a pretty morbid line from Ashnod during her first meeting with Mishra that went something like, "The body is the best machine, with living tubes and wires." Of course, now I can't help but think maybe this first conversation edged Mishra towards Phyrexia later. Anywho, being Mishra's apprentice also meant being his right-hand man when it came to various tasks, such as exploring Phyrexia. Yes, Mishra and Ashnod took a very brief trip to Phyrexia, moving on, and assisting him once the Brothers' War broke out. Ashnod had quite the chip on her shoulder. Mishra's Phalangi subjects hardly liked her and barely tolerated her authority. On at least one occasion, Mishra's underlings even tried to kill her, and that's before Gix got involved. Oh yeah, and Gix was involved. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but once upon a time Mishra and Urza were kids, and then maybe kinda ripped open a portal in reality when they were fighting over a rock, and out of that portal came Gix, who has a whole story we're just not gonna cover today. What's important is that Gix worked up his own cult over the years while the brothers fought and began infiltrating both sides of the war in an effort to A. manipulate both sides into prolonging the conflict so that B. Gix could get his hands on the Power Stones held by Urza and Mishra. With me so far? Alright. Now, Ashnod's a smart girl. She's a skilled artificer who made all sorts of doohickeys, and yeah, she maybe possibly created robo-zombies called transmogrants, but the important thing is that she was pretty much the only person to realize what was going on with the Brotherhood of Gix, and she tried to raise concerns. This, of course, put her on Gix's crossout list, so she had to get help from her lover boy, Thanos. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Ashnod was in love with Thanos from the moment they met. They played hooky together, shared drinks, talked about artifice into the long hours of the night, she tortured him for information after he was captured, you know, lover stuff. Anywho, Ashnod wanted to warn Urza about just how dangerous the situation was, so she freed Thanos, handed him a magic bowl that she swiped from another person she tortured, and sent him on his merry way. What happens next for our dear torture enthusiast depends on you, I guess. If you tolerate WotC's current storytelling, then congratulations! Somehow, Ashnod survives the super nuke Urza set off and goes on to live happily ever after with Thanos. The two set up their own school and everything's hunky-dory. But if you're like me and reject everything printed after 2019, then Ashnod was definitely killed by the Silex Blast, the end.